while we here walking, let me tell y'all about these foreclosures. They back. And I don't know why people don't think foreclosures are happening, but there are. And I'm gonna tell you how. If you are a person that if you went through that moratorium that they had where they suspended foreclosures and you stopped and you did some type of forbearance where you stopped making your payments because they told you that they were going to put it at the back of your loan, this is a video you're going to want to check out. And once you check it out, let me know what you think. So post-pandemic, we know that there was so much free money laying around, so many things was going on in the economy after the pandemic. And one of the biggest issues that people were having after the pandemic is paying their mortgage. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they came up with this idea to do what was called forbearance payments. So for some people, that sounds like a great idea. Hey, I'm having a really hard time after COVID, being laid off from work, lost my job, lost my spouse, whatever issues that was presented at the time, they decided to take advantage of the forbearance of their payments. So from my understanding, they were under the impression that the payments were going to go to the end of the loan. So they were going to just, at some point, whenever they sold the house or whenever they paid the house off, they were going to have a balloon payment at the end of the loan. However, that wasn't the case for so many people. And now that those foreclosures are coming to due, so many people are hit with this big disaster where instead of those payments going to the end of the loan, what happened was when they suspended the foreclosure moratorium and they started to allow banks to start processing these foreclosures, they started asking for that payment in full, not at the end of the loan. They started asking for that payment in full, and that caught so many homeowners off guard. And now that they're hit with this large payment, this is easily can be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in payment that's due in one payment, or they're going to start the foreclosure proceeding. So you got to imagine the people that took advantage of this. These aren't the people. Some people were still paying their mortgage during this time, especially the ones that had it and didn't really need to take advantage of the forbearance. But for the ones that did not have it and needed to take advantage of it, I do think that they were preyed upon, because when that payment came full and due, so many people was caught with their pants down where they didn't have the money. So that honestly left these sellers in between a rock and a hard place. Either they come up with the full money to pay the lenders what they want, or they ultimately lose their home. So one of the suggestions that we started doing, and what I've been recommending, and if you are one of those people that actually find yourself in that situation, I would tell you, don't sit there and do nothing. Too many people sit there and do nothing, and when they do nothing, things like this happen. So if you are in a situation where you haven't been paying your mortgage, first thing I would tell you is reach out to your servicer. They are starting to see some of the same similarities that we had in 2008, where homeowners were just not reaching out. And for those of you that don't know, 2008 was the first housing collapse. Not saying that our housing market is collapsed, but our housing market has changed, and so many people are feeling some of the same effects of 2008. So if you are somebody that hasn't been able to pay your mortgage, or you're not paying it, or you're kind of falling behind, I would tell you, before it get too late, call your servicer. See what programs that they have. Some of them offer loan modification. So if you haven't done a loan modification, you can easily, now a loan modification is completely different from a forbearance. A loan modification can be where they rewrite the loan, maybe raise your rent interest rate, but they may stretch your debt out a little bit more than what it was, and then to ultimately lower your mortgage payment. If that's something that works, by all means, do whatever you have to do to stay in your house. Renting is not an option, especially if you already own a home. So call your mortgage company, see what they say. If you can't call your mortgage company, and the second thing you need to do, if you probably already did your loan modification and you can't do a loan modification, I will tell you, reach out to your local realtor. For how I deal with my clients that's facing foreclosure, I typically will come in, I'll assess the house, see if it has equity. First thing first, because most homes, especially in our area, depending on when they bought it, when they purchased it, it has equity. So that's the first thing I would do. I would run the comps to see if the house has equity. If the house has equity, I'll do what's called a seller net sheet, and I'll let them know, okay, based off this, we can possibly put the house up for sale, we can market it, we can sell it at this amount. So I give them an option and tell them what they could possibly walk away with. Of course, selling a house when you're in foreclosure is a super emotional task. So to my realtors that have to work with clients that's in foreclosure, I'll just tell you, be patient with them, be understanding, show empathy, because it's a very hard task. And you know, a lot of people, that it's a lot of pride that owners feel, and they feel like it's a personal, you know, disappointment against themselves, and it speaks volume when they losing their house. Like, a lot of people have struggled mentally when they have to part ways with their home. But if you're a homeowner and you're in this situation, I would tell you, just understand that, you know, it's life. Like, you're not the only one. There's so many people that have experienced this. Nobody tells you why they sold or what was going on. All you know is you seen on Facebook they sold their house, but they don't really go into the intricate details as far as to why they sold. So if you can learn to separate the emotions from the transaction, know that you're not losing, especially if you're making some money, pocketing away money. Losing is you sell your house and you don't make anything, which I'm going to get to that and tell you all about short sales. But if you have equity in your property and you walk away with, I don't care if you walk away with $1, you're not losing. So when you take that out of your mindset that you're losing, then you have nothing to worry about. Now, getting into these short sales, we're starting to see those come around more and more often as well. And what short sales are is pretty much is where you get the bank to agree to take less amount for the property, because either they're sitting at zero equity, which I think so many homes that was sold in the last 6 to 8 months, just being frank, especially here in South Florida, are probably at zero to little to no equity, because we saw a decline in prices. So if you have houses that pretty much people bought at a higher amount and the prices have went down, they will do what's called a short sale. So you'll pretty much, you know, same thing, reach out to your realtor, have them initiate a short sale. I think it's important to work with a short sale negotiator. You got some realtors that do short sales all on their own. I'm not one of those realtors. I work with a negotiator because I just like to let people do what they do best. So it's, for me, hiring a short sale negotiator. In a short sale, sellers do not walk away with any money. Maybe you can walk away with a $3,000 relocation fee, but for the most part, you save your credit, you don't have a foreclosure, and you're able to pretty much just go on with your life and start this process again. Even if you have a pending foreclosure sale date, we can still assist you. So don't think because you have a looming sale date that you can't get help. If you know anyone that in that situation, don't be a turd. Go tell them, go help them, be a support system for them. You know, be patient with them, help them, let them know that you can assist them. And if you are in my local area in Fort Lauderdale, look me up, Stacey Powell. My information is down below. I do help clients in these dire situations. Like I said, guys, that's all I have for you today.